So everyone is here, and we are going to, actually we started last night during the cutting party. We actually cut out the apron, but don't fret if you missed it. It's okay. I'm gonna go over these steps and I'm gonna go over these dimensions, okay? Now we talked about the apron being a little too big, and I think there may have been some confusion as to the denim fabric, but I'm gonna go over all of that. I'm gonna ease your questions and all your, and give you as much information as I can. So let's get you started. Meet me over at the cutting table. All right, we are here. We are here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And so before I get started, I do want to go over some of the pieces that you may have received in your kit, okay? Some of the pieces. Now, if you haven't already cut your pattern, go ahead and do that, because we've already done that last night. Now, the only thing that you're not going to cut separately, that's piece 2 and 3, which is right here. Keep them in their entirety. Do not separate them or cut them. If you cut them, it's okay. There's something called tape, Scotch tape. You can tape these bad babies together. It's okay. So if you went ahead and cut those pieces separately, it's okay. Just grab you some Scotch tape, okay? So I'm gonna go over all the pieces one by one. I'm gonna talk about the sizes and everything, and then we're gonna talk about the colors, because last night when I was cutting out my pieces, I had decided that this is going to be my fabric. Actually, I got them mixed up. Sorry about that. My main fabric, and as you all know, is my favorite blue, this beautiful teal. So this is gonna be my main fabric, the one that you're gonna see on the front of my apron. Now, my green, I still love this beautiful navy blue. My green is going to sit in between my beautiful teal blue and the denim, okay? It just sits in between, but you will see it. And so I'm going to bring over one of the half aprons so that you get an idea of how the prints will be laid together. Sometimes we need to see it before we can actually start visualizing how we're going to put this together. And as you can see, there are 3 layers here. We have the B, and I mixed my colors up too, right here. So let me just fix these. And so I have this beautiful teal blue that sits at the bottom. This is one set of pockets here. Then I have my beautiful green, which is my B fabric, which is another set of pockets. And then we have the denim, the base of the apron, okay? So again, I'm gonna go through that again. My main fabric will be my A, because I love this beautiful teal, and I want to really see a lot of that, okay? And my second one, which is B, will be the beautiful green. And again, that green is going to sit in between A and the denim, okay? So that gives you an idea of what to look at and what to look for, okay? Now, also, my A will be my belt. You don't see that here, but this is just to help you when we start cutting those pieces and why I cut my pieces A or B, okay? I am so happy to be back with you all. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. So let's talk about those who received a kit and those who did not receive a kit. So for your denim piece, our pattern piece is 29 by 14. Again, this is the base of the apron, and this is the denim portion. So you would need 2. It don't have to be on the fold, just 2 pieces, 29 by 14. However, we realized that these aprons were really, really long, and they were starting to look like skirts. So we actually trimmed off just an inch, okay? Just an inch. And so you may have received, the ones that did receive a kit, where the denim is just an inch short. You see that? It's nothing big. You can actually literally just fold that down, okay? Just fold that inch down. Ta-da! Okay? So it's really not a big deal. The apron was just starting to look like a skirt, and we wanted to keep it in its entirety to look like an apron, okay? Now, last night, we cut it. Now, you had one strip completely. It's completely connected. Well, we cut it on the fold, so we have two pieces now. I'm gonna repeat that again. When you received your denim, it was in one long piece. I want you to keep that piece folded where you end up with two layers, okay? This is one, this is two. One side has the salvage, the little fringe on it. The other side was the folded, which is here, the opposite side. Last night, I just cut that fold with a pair of scissors. And now I have turned my one strip into two layers of fabric, okay? Beautiful. So if we all good on piece one, we can move on to the pockets, okay? On to the pockets. So I'm gonna set this aside. So last night we cut our pieces, and the very first piece we cut out was two, because two is the entire piece, okay? The entire piece here. It is in its entirety. Now, we are mixing and matching, power crushing this. I didn't catch all of that. Okay, wonderful. So piece two you have here is a pocket. That's all it is. It's just a pocket, okay? And I'm using piece two, my pocket, as my green, which is my fabric B, okay? So I'm gonna bring over my sample so you can see it again, right next to each other. And as you can see right here, two is my green, which is the B, okay? So I want you to decide now which one are you going to use, because you received a yard of two different prints. Mine just happened to be teal, the other one is green. So this is a good time. If you didn't cut last night, you need to make some quick decisions to deciding which color you want to be your B, which is that pocket that sits in between a fabric and the denim, okay? Now I'm gonna set this aside, and as you can see, my piece two, which is my pocket, is cut. Now, your fabric, you may receive it in two pieces or one pieces, it doesn't matter. Just keep the fabric folded, make sure you have two layers. Doesn't matter where you place it at. You can lay those two fabrics on top of each other, or just keep that one piece folded. Doesn't matter. You want to lay your fabric down evenly and cut out two pieces, okay? Two. And this again is for pocket two, which I'm using fabric B for. Beautiful. Now, moving right along to number three, which again is a part of this entire piece. So all I did last night was fold my fabric on this fold line. You actually see fold placement line. Watch this magic. Ta-da! That is our second pocket, which will be the main pocket, the one that you will see on the front. Again, all I did was take my pattern, fold it in half right along that fold line, that placement line, okay? And I took my fabric. Again, if you have just your 1 yard piece, just fold it in half like you have two layers, okay? And if you have two pieces, just lay them on top of each other because you need two layers, okay? And you want to cut two pieces, okay? Now last night we just placed this on a fold. The fold is not really important because it's going to be covered with the binding. So I'm gonna bring over my sample again so you can see what I'm referring to. As you can see, this is 3, is my beautiful teal blue. One end, which is the fold, doesn't matter, or the raw edge, will get caught in the seam or in the binding. So you never see this, okay? So it's not important that it's cut on the fold. The only thing that's important that you cut 2, okay? And so I have 2 here. Oh, let me pull out my, there we go. Here's my pocket piece, there we go. And that sits on the front. And that is piece, that's number 3, okay? And that's my main. Now, also because I have a lot of more fabric, I love this color so much that I decided that I want to use this in my belt as well. Now you can get as creative as you want with your belt. You can mix and match your 2 colors. It doesn't matter. I just love this blue, so I'm going to cut from the remaining of this fabric that I have 4 pieces. So I'm gonna bring over my belt next. But I think we're clear on pocket, the front pocket, which is A, okay? Which is right here. This is my piece here. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and set that aside. All right, so let's talk about the belt. Now last night, a lot of people was concerned about whether they're gonna have enough fabric. We have 4 pieces under here. Let me tell you, my belt will wrap around me 3 times. And we did that intentionally because we were being considerate of everyone's size, from an extra small to a 7X. Half of everyone, I would say 2/3 of everyone, will not even need all of that belt. You're gonna cut it down, okay? You are going to cut it down. But this is for anyone who needed that fabric, okay? So we cut out 4 belts. Now again, you can cut the same color or you can mix and match them. It doesn't matter, whichever 4 you want. So I actually have 4 belts here. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? It is quiet. Oh man. Okay, well, yes, thank you. We have a question. Yay! I like questions. Yes, Miss Rakisha.
Tisha, can you go back to piece 2 and 3 and how they're connected on your paper and explain again how you did that fold instead of cutting into 2 pieces? There seems to be a question as to whether that's 1 piece or 2 pieces.
No problem at all. So here is my piece 2 and 3. Again, piece 2 and 3 are in the same piece. You don't have to cut them out or separate them. If you did, it is okay. Use some Scotch tape and just tape them back together again, okay? It is okay. Remember, I said everything can be fixed, everything. Because you're the sewer, you can fix anything, okay? So, for piece 2, I really wanted that to be my secondary fabric, which is my fabric B. And so I actually, here's my fabric, as you can see. And I'm gonna just lift up this front panel, my first panel, which is my pocket A. And when you really look behind the scene, look at that. This fabric literally matches the size of my pattern. You see that? So piece 2 is in its entirety of the pattern, okay? So I literally cut everything out, this whole entire piece for piece 2. And that is the pocket that is sitting in between pocket A and the denim. So if I flip it over, you really get to see, there's my fabric. And I have 2 layers of it, okay? 2 layers, 1 and 2. And that's my pattern, okay? The beautiful thing about this pocket, and because these pieces are the same width, we could just fold the pattern where it says on the fold line for 3. This portion here becomes the pocket for 3, which is why you have the fold and placement line here. So watch my magic again. All I'm going to do is fold on the fold line the pattern piece. Ta-da! I wish I had some sprinkles, some sound effects. Ta-da! That would be so cool. And so this is my pocket 3, okay? And this is for my beautiful teal. This is the one I really want you to see, okay? So I'm gonna bring over my sample so you can see what it looks like. And this is my pocket, my front pocket, which is my beautiful teal. So let me bring that over so you can see what that looks like. And that's this piece right here. And here's my pattern piece, right next to it, okay? Again, you just need 2 of them, okay? Beautiful. Very clear. That's my job, is to make it clear and easy for you. Yes, indeedy. Beautiful. Well, it seems like everyone has a good understanding about the denim. Pocket 2, which is B. Pocket 3, which we just finished, was 3. I'm sorry, this was 2, this was 3. So let's move on to the belt, which is number 4, okay? All right. And again, because I love that teal, I know you all are sick of hearing me say that, but I do. Tisha is all about sand and palm trees, okay? And so when I see this beautiful teal blue, it reminds me of the beautiful blues that you see in the Bahamas. So I just love it. And so on my belt, I have, this is piece 4. And there's 4 pieces to this, okay? 4 pieces, okay? Some of us will not need the entire 4, okay? Again, some of us will not need the entire 4, but it's okay. All right? And so again, I have 4. And you can mix and match these. Be creative. I want you to make this your own. Remember, we're creating here, okay? Make it your own. Beautiful. All right, with that being said, and our pieces are cut, man, let's get into some cutting, all right? So also in your kit, you have received a packet of binding, and it's called, this is extra folded, and we're gonna use this today, okay? So go ahead and pull this out, take it out of its package, okay? Throw that wrapping to the side, and I'm going to bring over my piece and the binding, and I'm going to show you how to apply that to your pocket, okay? All right, so let's start with B, okay? Pocket B, which is number 2, okay? We don't need the denim, which is 1. We need that first pocket, which is number 2. And I'm going to slide this right on over. Now with this piece here, we want to keep it just long, just like this, because we're going to be working this long side, okay? And we're just not going to worry about the sides or the bottom here, okay? We're only concerned about one side, okay? It doesn't matter which one you choose, just choose one. Now, also, you want to make sure that your fabric is on the right side. And I'm going to refer to Mama Fia because, oh my God, just a wealth of knowledge. And you all, if you missed it, I am so sorry, but you have access to the videos. Definitely go back and watch that. And I was talking about that yesterday for my beginners. It's really, really hard to tell what's the right and the wrong side. It really is. Just pick a side and be consistent. For my intermediates, I know for you guys, your palette for sewing has grown, and so you really want to make sure you have the right side. So what I'm doing here is literally working on the right side, okay? And the wrong side is in the inside, okay? All right, so let's take our binding out. You should have already unwrapped it. And we want to cut a piece, the width, because you have 3 yards there. You are not going to need all 3 yards. You're just not. We're just going to use this piece, 2 29-inch wide pieces, honestly. And we're going to use that for each of our pockets. And we only have 2 pockets. So you have more than enough binding to use for another project. So cut you a piece, the length, the long length, which is 29 inches, okay? This is the length of your pocket. Cut you a piece, the length of your pocket, okay? Beautiful. And I think we all are ready. Now, I want to walk with you on this. Double folded bias tape, you want to open it all the way. So I'm going to come a little closer so you can see this, okay? I'm going to take this and literally open it up all the way. So that's one fold. I'm going to go ahead and unfold the left side and unfold the right side where it's really, really wide. As wide as I can get it, and it's only one layer of fabric there. I'm going to do that again. When you take it out of the package, it's folded, and it will look like this. Once you've cut an end that's 29 inches, I want you to take your bias tape, take one end, open it up all the way. And then you'll notice that there's still 2 more folds there. Go ahead and open that up all the way so it's one layer. And so I'm going to open up the left and I'm going to open up the right, okay? And it's completely open, just like that. Now I'm going to take a handy dandy tool here because I'm hoping that this will show up in the camera where that crease line is at. And I think it's going to be, and you'll be able to see that. You should be able to see 3 creases in that bias tape, okay? I'm only concerned about one that sits on the end. I'm gonna slide this down, open this up all the way, and I'm gonna mark this with a really bright red Chinese marker here, and hoping that you can see that. And what I'm doing is really trying to make that crease pop in the camera. And all I'm doing is taking my piece, really a crayon, and drawing right in that crease, that first crease, very first crease. And I'm gonna go all the way down. I'm gonna just keep going. Now, if you find that this is helpful for you, especially for my beginners, go ahead and grab your crayon or something that you can see, a piece of chalk or something, right in that crease line, okay? But you want something that's similar to the color that you're using, okay? So it doesn't really show. For me, this is just for camera, and that's why I'm using this really, really bright red. So as you can see, I'll open this up. You see that red line at the top. You see that? That's so freaking cool. This is my first crease line. However, there are 2 other ones below it. I am only concerned with that first crease line. Okay, that first crease line, because this crease line will be our stitch line. I'm gonna repeat that again. This red line, that first crease line, will be your stitch line, and it will make sense once we pin it on, okay? Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Tisha, Tracy has a question. She wants to know, why did you open the binding all the way?
Oh, because we want to sew it on. Now, a lot of times, believe me, as a beginner, you will want to take this and put it on a fabric just like this. and hope that you can catch both sides. Guess what? I'm one of those people that even in all my 40 years of sewing, I always miss catching the other side. I do not like to make extra work for me. So if you put it on correctly, and that's another sewing habit I'm gonna teach you. If you do things the correct way, you'll never have to repeat your steps again. I'm gonna repeat that again. Take the time, do it correctly the first time, and you'll never have to go back and do your work again. I love my best friend, the seam ripper, but I hate when she has to show up. Because that slows me down, okay? And so here, because I sew so much, it's really important that I am working efficiently and as quickly as I can, and I'm not wasting a lot of time, okay? So I am teaching you how to sew on bias tape correctly, okay? And that's why. Yes, 40 years of sewing, yes. I told you I started when I was 13, so I've been at it, man. I've been at it. All right, so let's go ahead and pin this down. So I'm gonna come back to this. Now, the side that has my lines in it, I wanna actually take that raw edge, which is right here, where my line is. You can see my red line here. I wanna take that and put that along the edge. Raw edge, meeting raw edge. Don't worry about the line right now. I just want to match up the raw edges of the binding to the raw edge of the fabric all the way. Now when you pin this and you're catching those raw edges, you want to make sure all 3 layers are together. 3 layers, Tisha? Yes. This is 1 layer, which is your binding. You have 1 layer fabric here, and you have another layer. So yes, all 3 layers together. Raw edges meeting together, okay? Beautiful. So again, I'm gonna put this at the top because I want this raw edge of the binding to the raw edge of the fabric. And let's start pinning. We're gonna pin from one end, literally all the way down to the other end, okay? Beautiful. So let's start pinning, 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 pinning. All right, so I'm gonna put my pin at the very top. And again, as I start to pin, you'll be able to see that line really well because those pins are gonna hold it in place, okay? So how are we doing? Because this is some good TV time right about now. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Oh, we have a question, yay!
Tisha, Roslyn is asking, are the wrong sides together on the main fabric or the right side?
You are correct, Miss Robin. The wrong side is in the inside. We are applying the binding to it as though we would wear it. So what you're looking at in the camera is the right side. Again, what you're looking at in the camera is the right side, the way I would wear it. Beautiful. All right, so we're just going to continue pinning, 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 pinning. Again, I'm just being very careful, making sure I'm keeping all those raw edges together. Wonderful. We do this. Is it cut 3? Cut 3 of, I'm not sure of your question or if I've read that correctly. Because we should only have 2. We should only have 2 pieces here. Oh, we have a question. Miss Rakisha, yes, yes, yes.
Tanita and Nola Jane, let me know if I'm clarifying your question. The piece that you're working on right now is print B, pattern piece number, maybe she's asking if that's pattern piece number 3, the 3rd piece that you cut. Maybe you can clarify which pattern piece you're working on right now.
Sure. So I'm working on my first pocket, which is pocket 2, okay? And my pocket 2 is this piece here. Oh, here we go. See that? That's pocket 2. And this is the piece that I'm working on. This is my secondary fabric. And my secondary fabric, when you look at the sample, it's sandwiched in between the front pocket and the denim, okay? And I'm gonna just flip this back so you can see it in its entirety, okay? It's the same piece. This is piece 2, okay? And piece 2 is cut in its entirety, the way the pattern is. I know you see 3 here, but you're gonna cut it in its entirety, okay? Yes, ma'am, Rakisha, yes.
So while you're there with the paper pattern piece, when we folded it down to cut, just to make sure that we're not putting everything together, that piece 2 and piece 3 are now separated.
Yes, they are separated, so yes. So I just happen to have my fabric here because I just didn't remove it. But piece 3 is actually, let me set this aside, but you all keep pinning while I answer that question. This is piece 3, I'm sorry. This is piece 3 here. As you can see, piece 3, and here's my fabric. It's just folded. You see that? This is my piece 3. And all I did was fold down the pattern. That's all I did. I just folded the pattern. And so as you can see, this is piece 3 right here. And that's my main fabric. This is the one I really want you to see, which is that beautiful teal, as you can see. And so you can really see that on my apron. And because I love it so much, I'm using that for my belt as well, but you don't have to. You remember? I was saying I want you to take that creative spirit and you decide what color you want for your belt. You know, you can mix and match. You got 4 pieces there. You know, you can really be very creative with your belt, okay? Beautiful. So there's my sample. So I'm gonna just bring back my my other piece back over that I was working on, and that was my binding here. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish putting the binding on that. And while we are here, guess what? We're gonna do the same thing that we just did with this binding tape for our piece 3, which is our third piece 3, which is the front pocket, the main pocket, okay? So go ahead and finish binding, putting your binding on, making sure that the raw edges are matching, okay? And I'm doing my best to keep that fold completely open as much as possible because I just want that one layer. And as you can see in that first, you see 3 creases there. My very first crease is the one that I highlighted in red. And that's why you see that red line running through my bias tape, because I really want you to see that, okay? Beautiful. Put another pin here, okay? That looks great. Yes, 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 yes. Wonderful. Pattern piece number 3. Okay, yes. Wonderful. Well, it can be a contrast piece. Remember, different people use different fabrics. Sometimes people want to use the same fabric, so we have to think about that as well. So it's open to your own interpretation, however you see your contrast. If I wanted to, I could have used 4 different colors. Think about it, you know, or 1 color. It's really up to you. You be the creative spirit here. It's your apron. Beautiful. So now that I've done that for my pocket 2, let's pull over pocket 3 and do the very same thing, okay? Leave your pins in place because once we have all of our pieces with the binding, which is just the pockets, we're gonna take this over to the sewing machine, okay? So I'm gonna set my pocket B, which is pattern 2, to the side, okay? So I'm gonna set that to the side. And now I'm going to pull over my piece number 3. And you notice that the pocket is a little shorter, okay? Because there's several layers to our pocket. So this one's a little shorter, and it's okay. All right, so again, I want you to take another piece of bias tape, and I want you to cut it the length of your pocket. And this, again, is your main pocket, which is A, and this one will sit on the front of your apron, okay? Again, this will sit on the front of the apron. I love this blue, beautiful teal, and I really want to be able to see that every time I wear this apron, okay? So we're going to go ahead, again, take our bias tape, open it all the way, all the way. You'll find that there are 3 creases here, okay? I'm going to take my nice red Chinese marker here, and at that first crease, the very top crease, I'm going to put a line in it. Now, you don't have to do this. This is only for the camera. However, if it helps you, by all means, I don't want to stop you. Go for it. When I first started sewing, I needed lines. Just to, you know, it's just repetition. After you do it over and over again and you get comfortable with it, you find that you don't even need those lines anymore. You get so comfortable and you're building confidence in your sewing skill that you don't need it. But if you're a beginner, and I know we have true beginners here, go ahead and mark that line. Go for it. Whatever works for you, okay? Beautiful. And so now I put that line in place. Did I get the measurement wrong? So my pocket is, I think we have it on here. It is 29. Was she referring to pocket 3?
I'm gonna drop the dimensions.
Oh, she's going to drop the dimensions again for you, okay? I think they posted it earlier, but they're constantly dropping those numbers in for you, okay? Wonderful. And so again, this is 29 inches wide as well. The apron is 29 inches wide. I mean, and it's really wide. I think last night I was showing everyone how wide it is, and it almost fits around me like a skirt. So you really don't have to have it that wide. We were being considerate of all the different sizes. We have people who are extra small to a 7X, and I wanted to make sure that this apron fits any and everyone, okay? So you'll find that if it's too much of an apron, you can cut it down. You can definitely do that. That's the beauty of sewing. You can make it your own, and I'm encouraging you to make it your own, okay? So you can definitely cut it down, and especially with the belt. The belt is really, really long. Last night I put the sample and I wrapped it around me 3 times. So as you can see, you're gonna have plenty of belt. All right, so wonderful. So let's go ahead and pin our last piece of binding to pocket 3, okay? This is the piece number 3. And this is the main one that will sit on the front. So again, I want to make sure that I have raw edge of the binding to the raw edge of the pocket, making sure I'm catching all 3 layers. What are those 3 layers, Tisha? That's the binding, and there's 2 layers to this fabric, 1 and 2, okay? Beautiful. And so now we're going to go ahead and start pinning all the way up. Oh, you know what? While we're pinning, I do want to give a shout out to the person. Someone said, "Oh my God, Tisha, you're like Bob Ross." And it has been. Yesterday was such a long day for us. I think I was going down really fast, and it wasn't clicking. And I'm like, Tisha, you know that name? You know that name? And so I'm in bed, and it just resonated with me. So I just Googled him. I said, oh, yeah, this is the guy that paints. I loved him when I was a kid. I went to school for art. So I still paint now, and so I love it. And so when someone said, oh, you're like the Bob Ross of sewing, I want to say thank you. I'm going to wear that as a badge of honor. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. So that's telling me you enjoy it and you appreciate it. And that makes me happy. And that tells me keep doing a good job. Just keep at it. As long as you're receiving the information, I know I'm doing a good job, and that's wonderful. So thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm still pinning. I'm still pinning and still pinning and still pinning. I love interacting with my students. So I got Markeisha here with me. So do we have any more questions? Wonderful.
No question, just lots of love for the bias tape tips. It sounds like people have been struggling with bias tape in the past, and your tip is helping people out today.
Oh, that is so good. Oh my God, yes, yes, yes. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I'm one of those sewers who, when I can, cheat. But I'm gonna tell you when to cheat and when not to cheat. And this is not the time to cheat. Again, I do not like doing work twice. So yeah, this is important. This is definitely important. And if you're into quilting, this technique is used as well. So I'm not sure if we have any quilters in the house. All right, beautiful. So now I have completely pinned my entire pocket. And again, this is pocket 3, which is the smaller pocket, which is my main print, which is A, because this is the one that sits on the front, okay? And I have my pocket number 2, which is going to sit in between pocket A and the denim, okay? Beautiful. So now that we have these two here, we're going to take both of these two pieces and we're going to take them to the sewing machine. And before we head over to the sewing machine, I just want to talk about this again. Earlier I said the reason why I marked it with the red is so that not only can you see it, but this is also your stitch line. Okay? This is your stitch line. And I have my time clock coming soon. Oh, I'm doing good. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, thank you. But keep them coming, okay? Let me know. So this red line is your stitch line, okay? I want you to stitch right on that first crease, okay? On that first crease, which is why I have that red line there, okay? And this is what we call stitching in the ditch, because you're literally stitching in the ditch. There's a crease there, okay? So we're going to do these separately, one at a time, okay? So let's go over to the sewing machine and I'll meet you over there, okay? All right, so here we are. Now, remember, always test your machine before you start sewing. You know I'm about habits. It is important to have good habits, okay? So I have my piece of scrap fabric here, and I just want to test out my stitches, okay? I just want to test them out, okay? So I recommend if you have a piece of scrap sitting somewhere, go ahead and test. Never assume that you are at your right setting, okay? Beautiful, and that looks amazing. I'm going to go ahead and take that out. And I'm going to start with my beautiful teal. My beautiful teal. I just love my beautiful turquoise and teal fabric colors. All right, so again, as you can see, I'm gonna hold this up in the camera and just tilt this for you. You can really see that red line there. That's my first crease. I'm literally going to stitch on top of that line, stitching in the ditch, okay? Starting at the very top. Now I know I have a pin at the top, but when I have it, my foot down, and bring my needle down, remember we don't sew over pins, we do what? We sew to the pins and we remove them, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this pin. Beautiful. I got my nice little pin cushion here, and I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing. And we are literally stitching in the ditch. We're sewing to the pins and not over pins. We want to have start with really good habits, okay? I know my intermediates, I know this sounds so repetitive, but bear with me. It's so important that they get that in, okay? Beautiful. Now for my beginners, if you happen to sway off of your line or off the ditch, it's okay. Just bring yourself back to it. Don't fuss about it, it's okay. Remember that line is just a guide. Again, that line is just a guide, nothing to fret about. Beautiful. Wonderful. So I'm gonna bring my needle up, go ahead and take that off the machine. And now that this one is done, let's do the second one, okay? Beautiful. All right. Again, the same thing. We are stitching in the ditch. I'm stitching on that red line, that first crease line, okay? Beautiful. So how are we doing out there? Getting that bias tape on. Oh, we got a question, yes.
There's a question and a comment. The question is, do they need to backstitch? And the comment is, they love your magnetic wrist pin cushion.
I know, I love this thing. This is freaking cool. So I found this at I'm a knitter, if you don't know that. I do dabble in crocheting from time to time. There's not an art I will not try. Like I said, my background was in visual arts. And so I went to one of my favorite shops here locally, and it was a knitting shop, and it was a magnetic, like a little, it looked like an Apple Watch, but it's not. It's just magnetized. And this thing is so freaking cool. It's been hard to find these things, so I'm hoping that we can get them here at the shop very soon. I might definitely add this to Tisha's toolkits. If you all haven't checked out that video, please go to our Facebook page, check it out, okay? And I think I talked about it at pre-conference as well, okay? Wonderful. All right, so we're just gonna keep on sewing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Most of my intermediate students know that I am a gadget queen, so I love gadgets. There's not a such thing as too many gadgets. My husband will say otherwise. Wonderful. All right, so I'm coming to the end on that second pocket there. I'm gonna bring up my needle. And now for my intermediates, you may know how to go ahead and fold this binding over the end. You can go ahead and do that if you need to. And I'm gonna just go ahead and show them that. So if I turn this over, this side is which we just sewed this on, okay? And the casing, the binding actually encased the entire thing, okay? So for my intermediates, since you're right here at the sewing machine, go ahead and case that in and go ahead and sew it down. For my beginners, I think I need to go back over to the cutting table and walk them through this, okay? So let's meet at the cutting table. Beautiful. All right. And so while we're here, we have a question. So yes.
Tisha, Beverly's reminding you did not answer her backstitching question.
Oh, no backstitching. I'm so sorry. I got so caught up in my gadget. I forgot your question. I'm so sorry. I'm a gadget queen, and I love my toys, as you can see. Sorry about that. So no, you don't have to backstitch at all, because you're going to be sewing over this 4 times across these seams, so there's really no need for backstitching. So no, not at this point. And when you do need to backstitch, I will let you know, okay? I would definitely let you know, but at this point you don't. And you can already see this now, okay? All right, so to the cutting table, I'm gonna start off with my pocket 3, which is the small one, which is A. And I'm going to come back to where we were just a few minutes ago. So right here, this is where we were. We just sewed this on. You see that? Literally just sewed this on. What you're going to do with the remaining of this bias tape is actually turn it to the other side. Literally. It's going to hide the raw edge of everything. Again, I'm going to repeat that. Here we are right here, okay? We just finished stitching in the ditch or on that red line. You see that? All I'm doing is taking the remaining of the bias tape and literally flipping it over to the other side. Bam. It's going to actually hide the raw edge. Look at that. Beautiful. Yeah, like wow, bam, bam. It did it. So I'm just gonna flip this over so you can really see that, okay? It just hides, if I just peek back, it hides all the raw edge inside, that's all. It encases it in. So we're gonna take this back over to the sewing machine. Now, if for my beginners, you may feel that you need a few pins in here, go for it. But you have that crease line in there. I really don't think this is going to get away from you at all. But if you feel like you need to put pins in it, go ahead and do so, okay? Go ahead and do so, okay? I'm gonna do the same thing that I did here for the second pocket, which is my pocket B. Again, what you're looking at in the camera is where we stitched in the ditch, that red line. You see that? I'm taking the other end, the opposite end of the bias tape, literally taking it and flipping it over the raw edge to the other side. Bam. Look at that. All the way. And I'm just going to go ahead and completely turn this over. So if you really think about it, you got a two-sided pocket there. Look at there. Really nice. It's going to be pretty in the inside as well on the outside. And that's the beautiful thing about using bias tape. So I'm going to put a few pins in here. And I'm going to talk about my thread so everyone doesn't freak out. Now I'm sewing with black thread, and I know that my binding is red, but I'm doing that intentionally so that when I finish, you can really see my stitches once I stitch this onto my pockets. Now when you sew, we want to sew as closely to this side, okay? This is the top. I'm going to remove this pocket so you don't get confused, okay? This is the folded edge of the bias tape. This is the top. And I'm going to turn it this way so you don't get dizzy. So this is literally the top of my pocket, and this is where the fold of the bias tape is, okay, on this side here. On the other side of the bias tape is where that opening, okay? And so we want to stitch that down as close to that edge as much as possible, okay? For my beginners, you may want to, I don't want you to risk bearing off, so if you feel like you need to come a little closer to the center of it, it's okay, all right? It's okay. And we're going to top stitch this all the way down, okay? So not only will I do this for my pocket A, but I'm going to do that also for pocket B. So I'm going to turn it so that it's going in the right direction. So this is the top again. And this is the side that needs to be sewn, okay? And I'm going to sew as close to that raw edge as much as possible, all the way down. I will be using black thread, but you do not have to follow me. You can match this up to the color that you want for your bias tape. It's really up to you. Remember, this is your apron. This is your creativity. You can make it to whatever you want it to be, okay? Always, I want you to every project, make it your own. That's what makes it you. That's what makes it so unique. You know, you walk down the street and someone sees you and they see that beautiful outfit. It's yours. It's unique. It has your stamp on it. And we want to do that for each piece, okay? So let's meet you I want to meet you over at the sewing machine. All right. All right, this apron is coming together. Woohoo! All right, so I'm starting with my second one. This is, you can start with any one because it's the same thing. And what I'm going to do is literally take that right on this side, right here. This is the side I really want to sew on this side of the bias tape because this side has my fold. And I want to sew as close to that edge. For my beginners, don't fret. Stay closer to the center. It's okay. You know who you are. Own it. It's nothing the matter with being a beginner. I am jealous that you're starting here with us. So I'm pretty excited for you, and it's okay. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and start. We have any questions? I've been chatting for a minute. We have any questions? No? Okay. All right, let's sew away. Let's sew down the bias tape, okay? Let's sew it down. Beautiful. This is coming out really, really nice. Beautiful, beautiful. I can't wait to see everyone's pictures. So make sure later that you post your pictures. And as you can hear, my machine is talking to me, and that's because of all of the layers of fabric. But it's okay, it can handle it. Thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful, beautiful machine. Don't forget to hang out later in a day, we'll be giving away a sewing machine. I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so I have my second pocket completed with my bias tape. Look at that. Oh my God, so cool. And let's see if I can get a really close-up of that. I might end up blurring the camera. Yeah, I did. Okay, I'm so sorry. So yes, it's okay. But you know what I mean. Beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my second one as well, okay? And this is my pocket, the front pocket, which is pocket A, okay? Same thing, nothing's different. And I'm almost there. And again, if you make a mistake, it's okay. Oopsies are okay. It's a learning experience. One of the questions that I get a lot is, Tisha, do you make a lot of mistakes? Every day. Every day. I try to minimize them, but I make them every day. Even though I've been at this for 40 years, I do it every day. And I don't mind showing you my mistakes. I do it all the time. It's okay. But there's certain things that you can just live with. And, you know, hey, when you put it in perspective, this is just an apron. Oh, we have a question. Yes, yes, yes.
Tisha, Adeline wants to know, are you sewing on the back side of that pocket?
On the back side. Actually, if you think about it, there's no right or wrong side. Think about it. It's like one side is the same as the other side. They're like mirror images. And we really haven't deemed it as a right and wrong side until we put it on the garment. Once I put it on the garment, it will be considered a right side. And I'm getting ready to get to that in a few minutes, okay? So right now, it's just a mirror image. So you can use either side if you want to. Use your best side once we lay it down. I'm gonna let you decide on that, okay? So let's meet over back at the cutting table. Oh my God, I love my team. You guys are so on it. They got my cameras ready for me. I love it, I love it, I love it. All right, so I have my pockets here. Again, pocket A and pocket B, which are beautiful. And remember that other habit that I talked about is making sure that you have those cleaning up. Get rid of those thread tails. If you have anything hanging over all of that excess stuff, hang that over. We want to clean up as we go along. You don't want to wait to the end of your garment to start cleaning up, okay? Don't want to do that, okay? And also, if you feel like you have some creases in here and you want to do a little pressing, this is a good time to do that. But for me, it looks pretty good. Everything is laying really flat, and I'm very pleased with everything. So this is a good time to go over anything that you need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this up, clean up, clean up, clean up. All right, so I just had those two ends there, which are beautiful, okay? All right, so I'm going to set my pockets aside, but don't take them too far because you're going to need them in a few minutes, okay? So let's set that aside. And now what I want you to bring is your denim piece, okay? Is your denim piece. Now, last night we cut this in halves. And so again, I'm going to go over this again. We cut our denim in half. It was one long strip. And on the side where the fold is, we cut it in half, okay? So we ended up with two pieces. Look at that. Beautiful. So one piece I'm going to set to the side, okay? And I want to turn this piece that I have on the table to the right side. Again, if you notice this apron, we've been working on the right side of everything, which is very unusual, but this is how we put everything together. We want to get the base of the apron together first. So now it's time for us to layer our pieces, okay? So I have a question, yes.
Tisha, Beverly's asking, is there a reason why you're not using interfacing for stability?
Ah, good question. Because of all of the layers of fabric. So if you think about it, our pocket A is 2 layers. Our pocket B is 2 layers. That's 4. Our denim is 6 layers. That's a lot of fabric with all those layers, and then to build on top of that interfacing, our machines will start to pick up on us, okay? And so you'll find that, especially when we apply the second piece of denim, okay? So that's why we didn't use any interfacing. Too much was too much, okay? So let's go ahead and layer our pockets. And so I want you to take pocket B. That's the first one that we're going to lay down. I want you to take pocket B. And my pocket B is here. And remember how I said it's kind of double-sided? You can use this side, or you can use this side. I want you to decide on which side that you want to use, okay? I want you to decide which one you prefer. You might have your circles in a certain place. You might have a motif that you're really trying to capture. Although you may not see a lot of this fabric, most of it you will see at the top. So it's really up to you which one you want to see. Now, I'm going to make my decision based on my color palette. I love how this green sits at the top here, unlike this other side, okay, where the white is. So I'm going to use this piece here, okay? I'm going to use this side. And I'm going to literally put this on top of the denim, matching up the bottom. You see that? Just matching at the bottom 4 corners. It's perfectly in there. Beautiful. I'm going to do the same thing with my second pocket. Let's take a look. Bring that over. Which side do you like? You like this side? Or do you like this side? They look the same to me. I'm just going to keep this one right here. I'm going to place this again at the bottom, matching up the corners. Bam. Oh, look at there. This apron is coming alive. So let's pin these layers together, meaning you have quite a few layers. You got 2, 2, and 1 denim. Remember, the other denim is setting aside. Let's pin these pockets down really well, the sides and the bottom, okay? The sides and the bottom. I'm getting ready to sneeze. I'm sorry. It's coming. I think when I just said it, but that's part of being live. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and start pinning. Pin away. Here we go. And you may find that you have some unevenness in your apron. Remember, I said we're going to trim some of this down, okay? We're going to even it up. So it's okay. For my beginners, don't fret. It's okay. Pin, pin, pin. Pin, pin, pin. And pin. It's okay if you have some unevenness. We will trim that up and clean it up later. So now I just pinned my sides. Oh, clips? Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay, so you're yelling clips, clips, clips. I know that's an intermediate. You got all the fancy toys and gadgets, so yes, clip away. I think I have another question. No, we good? Oh, yes.
That was your friend Tracy with the clips comment.
Oh, okay. Yes, Tracy is definitely intermediate. She tries to play a beginner, but she's definitely an intermediate. I see you, Tracy.
And then Carlisa was asking about, is there only one piece of denim right now, or are you using both?
No, one piece of denim. So remember, I have my other piece here. I separated them. So if you haven't cut yours in half, separate them, okay? And I think I went over that tonight. Earlier in the day and just a few minutes ago. So you should have 2 pieces at this point. Place this one to the side because it's coming next, okay? It is coming next. All right, beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right. Let's move on to the next one. We are getting ready to sandwich this in. What, Tisha? Yes. That same piece of denim, this one right here, We are literally going to sandwich all of this in because this is going to get turned inside out, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, goody, my time clock just said 50 minutes. And oh my God, we got plenty of time because the only thing we have left is my belt. So if I run into some extra time, I do want to talk about, or maybe they might give me some other time to talk about some other things because I do want to talk about, someone had an excellent question about fat quarters. All right, so all I did was take my second piece of denim, right size, facing right size. Remember I've been talking about this all day, that we've been working on the right side of the denim, we've been working on the right side of the pocket, and we've been working on the right side of, actually both of our pockets. Yes, Lord, okay. And so I want to go ahead and take the other denim and place it right on top. And it's going to be a mirror image, literally a mirror image, okay? A mirror image. And I know we have pinned the sides and we pinned the bottoms. We're just going to sandwich that all in. I'm going to bring that closer in. There we go. Just like that. And now I really want to match up those corners as much as possible. Match them up. And if it doesn't, it's okay. So look, I got a little peeking out of here. Don't worry about it. We'll cut that stuff off. It's okay. It happens. Okay? All right, and so I want to pin the corners. I want to start up here because I don't have any pins. So now that I added this denim, there's no pocket up here. So I really want to pin this well, okay? Now when I get down to the pockets, which starts about here, I'm going to take those same pins that are there and pin everything. I'm going to take that same pin that's holding that pocket and the denim together. I'm just going to add this piece of denim right to that same area. So let's go ahead and do that. Pin, 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 pin. Now the only thing that we're not going to pin up is the top, which is this piece. Remember I said we were going to turn this inside out? This top area, we will not sew. So no pins at the top. I'm going to repeat that again. There are no pins at the top. We want to keep this open. We are only pinning the sides and the bottom. If you find that you have some unevenness in your fabric, it's okay. It's no fret. We will clean that up later, okay? We will clean that up later. So let's continue to pin, 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 pin. And remember we were talking about all those layers? I think it was a question about the interfacing. And so the interfacing is only going to make this really bulky. We got 6 layers of fabric here. So you really don't need the interfacing at all. 6 layers. Denim with 2 layers of African print fabric. Woo, you are stable. You're in good condition, okay? You are, and you shouldn't have anything sticking at you or poking at you. There's a lot of layers here, okay? So I'm going to continue pinning and pinning and pinning. Now the seam allowance, because we haven't really used a seam allowance because the only thing we sewed was the bias tape, and so we had a particular place to sew. We are actually going to use half an inch seam allowance for this project. If I have not mentioned it, again, we're only using half an inch, okay? And if your fabric kind of seeps out, it's okay. Don't freak out. We'll clean that up. The most important thing we're going to follow is the denim. So if you have any of your pockets sitting out, don't freak out. Just follow the outline of the denim, okay? You follow that and you're going to be on track, okay? Beautiful. All right, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to repeat. Again, the top is open. There are no pins at the top. This is the top of my apron. Everything is sandwiched inside. Everything is facing right side to right side, the way you would wear it, okay? So we have sandwiched everything in, okay? All we did was take the second piece of denim, laid it on the top, sandwiched everything, and sewed up the side, pinned the sides and the bottom. Again, only the sides and the bottom. Again, if you find that you have little peaks of the pocket hanging out, remember I said these pieces were big? You're gonna be trimming this down. This is what I'm referring to. This is our first trimming, okay? And it's okay. The most important thing is to follow the outline of the denim. You follow that and you're gonna be okay, all right? That's my bottom and back up again, okay? Do not sew up the top. And it looked like everyone is ready. You've pinned everything, you pinned your pockets, they're in place. You got your denim on top, everything is right side facing right. Oh yes, I love it. You know I love that feedback. You got it, yes. You got everything pinned really well so that when you pick it up, it won't fall apart on you. So let's go ahead. Did I cut the salvage of the denim? No, I left it on there. It's fine. Unnecessary work. Don't worry about it. It's going to get caught in the seam allowance. Less work, okay? All right, so let's head over to the sewing machine and let's sew this up, okay? All right, so here we are. And again, I'm using a 1/2 inch, okay? And I want you to figure that out on your sewing machine. And again, if you have anything peeking out, don't worry about that, especially for my beginners. Just follow the edge of your denim and you should be okay, all right? Just follow the edge of your denim, okay? All right, so I'm going to start at the very tippy top, okay? And if you like, you can reinforce this area. For my beginners, I know you're still struggling about what is reinforcement. It's okay. It is okay because we will come across the top of this with the belt, so it's not a big issue, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and start. And I literally have the edge of my foot to the edge of my fabric here, okay? I'm just gonna use that as my guide. All right, let's get going. I just put a reinforcement stitch there and I am coming down one of my sides as we speak, okay? Beautiful. Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you notice, I'm stopping, removing my pins. We want to be in good habits. We don't want to break any needles, okay? And I'm going to keep going all the way down. And if you notice, with each layer, your machine will start to sound differently. And my machine just hit that pivoting point. So I know it's on those 6 layers of fabric that's going on. But it's handling it. It's doing pretty good. And I'm just evening that up right there, okay. Coming to that end, and if you notice, I have some of my African print fabric hanging out. It's okay, it's okay. And you'll find when you start sewing that you may have some unevenness. Whenever you have unevenness, and it's like 1/8 or 1/4 inch, that's really nothing to freak about, okay? You'll find that will happen no matter what you're working with, okay? It's when you start losing inches that you should be concerned. Okay, only inches. So I'm gonna bring back up my needle, pull out my fabric, and I'm gonna start literally right at the bottom, okay? Again, I'm gonna start right at the bottom, and no matter how far my African print fabric is hanging out, I'm using the edge of my foot to match up to the denim, okay? To the denim. I'm really not going to worry about that little salvage of African print fabric hanging there. It's okay. That's going to get cut off anyway. So let's go ahead and sew it down. And I'm just going to put a reinforcement stitch in here. There we go. And I'm coming back across it. Okay. Again, I'm sewing to the pins and not over my pins. I want to sew till I am 100. That's the goal. On my beach. All right. And so I'm having a little ease there, and I'm just forcing that ease right underneath the machine. That's all. Just using a pen, keeping that ease right in place. So into the pins. All right, I'm at my next one here. Beautiful. And this bottom piece is, remember, it's 29 inches. This is a really wide apron, you know? Really wide. Beautiful. All right. I feel like I'm coming to that tail end. Uh-oh, I look like I got stuck somewhere. Oh, there's a pin there. Is there a pin? Yes, there was another pin hidden there. That's why I wasn't going anywhere. See? Even I miss some things from time to time. There we go. But I caught it. I could feel it. My machine wouldn't move anymore. All right. And I'm right there. And now I have one more side. I'm coming back up on the other side, okay? All right. Again, I'm gonna put a reinforcement stitch right in there. I'm gonna come back again. I'm gonna work my way all the way back up. Taking my time, making sure that those pins are coming out right before they get to my needle. Oh, and look at that. I think I may have missed one. Oh, I sure did. See, you get to see me change a needle on camera. Oh, shooky now. See? Wonderful. So this is a good time to talk about why you should have your gadgets right here. But you keep working, okay? You keep working. I think my screwdriver is in my other little kit here. And I have it. And so this is a good time for me to show you what that looks like. This is a sewing machine screwdriver. Looks crazy, right? But yeah. So there's a little screw here that I can lightly, gently let it loose, and ta-da. And this lifts, it comes out really nice. And look at there, there's my broken needle. Now, I recommend you get these things called sharp containers. They look like little metal containers that you see at hospitals. These kind of things, you want to make sure that you put them in something sharp that's protected, that when you take your trash can out, you don't snag yourself. Because you're going to end up with an infection with something like that. So get you a sharp container from Amazon. And so that's usually what we do with our broken needles. And you'll find them sitting around, especially the industrial machines. So the needles that we use here, and that come in most of your sewing machines, are a size 14 needle, okay? And the reason I can tell is because on the back of this package, it says 14, okay? 14 is a great needle to use for basically any project. We start with a 14 and work our way up or down from that. And so all I'm doing is taking that screwdriver and tightening up back up my needle, because I just put it back up in this hole all the way. So you want to make sure it goes all the way up to the point where you can't push it up anymore. Tighten up that screwdriver tighten it up with the screwdriver, and you're good to go. New needle, okay? So I'm gonna place all my little goodies and everything. At some point, we will have a class called Happy Feet, where you get to learn all of your different feet. We've had to pause on a lot of our classes because of COVID, so just be patient with us. We're gonna get there. We're trying to get to the other side of this, okay? But yes. And so if you notice, good habits, again, keeping your items with your sewing machine, put it back in there. Look how easy that was for me to just, I didn't have to get up. Everything was right there for me, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and thread my needle. And if you all don't mind, I'd love you to show you another little toy. And this is called a needle threader. So if you're getting up in age like I am and your eyes are starting to fail you, I love this thing. There's this little metal hook on here I love. And you can place this literally right inside of the hole because you can see that hole. The point of that is much easier. You wrap the thread around it and you pull the thread through it, and it threads your needle for you automatically, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and thread this. But I love that little gadget. Really, really easy. It looks like almost like a little bug. It's really tiny, really, really tiny. Yeah, wonderful. All right, I'm back to cooking in the kitchen again. Woohoo! And I found my mystery needle, my mystery pin there that I ran over. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna back it up probably about an inch where I dropped off at because I want to really secure that in place. And so I'm gonna pick back up on that same stitch. So if you ever find that you lose yourself and you need to pick that stitch up, again, just start back in about an inch, not at that point, but about an inch, and start your stitches then, okay? It's almost like putting a reinforcement stitch for about an inch right there. All right, you got all the good stuff today. All right, so it looks like I'm coming to that tail end. And see, that's why we don't sew over needles. This is the perfect example why we do not sew over pins. You will break a needle. You saw it happen. Beautiful. And I'm coming right on up. All right. So let's take this off and let's take this over to the cutting table because we're going to do some cleaning up. We're going to turn it inside out and we're going to talk about the belt. Okay? Beautiful. All right, so we are here and we have a question. Yes.
Tisha, Rosemarie has a question. She asks, any tips for when the top layer tries to shift? Her top denim is becoming a little hill and the needle approaches trying to push through all the layers.
Got you. What I usually do is, and you may have seen me do this at the sewing machine. As I was taking out my pins, I was slowly pushing the fabric in. Just because I don't want it to pull, because if you continue to let the fabric pull, it would start bunching up and you'll end up with something with this big heel. So instead of that extra fabric is what we call ease. And we want to make sure that it doesn't shift on us. So what I do is I try to gently just keep the fabric in that area. And so that when I get to my next pin, I'm going to put a pin here. So if I'm sewing, I'm beyond this point, so that when I get to the next pin here, I want to keep that fabric in that place. I don't want the fabric between these two areas to shift. So I'm always using my pin to help feed the fabric through. This will take practice and time, so do not get discouraged with that, okay? Do not get discouraged. And if you find that you have a little heel and you may have some unevenness, remember I said we're going to cut it off anyway. This apron is really big. You can trim this sucker down, okay? Oh, someone said, okay, there's another Miss Fancy there. Yes, you can use a walking foot. My beginners wouldn't even know what that is. But yes, it is a walking foot, and that's a whole nother ball game. Remember I was talking about having that class, and it's called Happy Feet, where we actually teach you how to use over 50 different feet. I tell you how to look for different feet for your sewing machine. You bring those feet to class and we go through step by step learning how to use those feet. So that'll be coming up soon. We're just waiting to get on to the other side of COVID. And I was hoping to put it on a fall schedule, but our numbers are going up. And I'm afraid because I care for two elders. I take care of my dad and I take care of my mother-in-law. And bless her heart, she just had a back surgery. And so I just don't want to jeopardize my health in having additional classes when I know I care for them. So I may have to push that to the spring, and I do apologize. But until we get to the other side of this COVID, I just got to make sure I'm taking care of the people. Remember, Mama Thea talked about it, family, family. And here for us, we're a very family-oriented business. We about believe in family. Take care of your family first, because it's hard to come to work when your family is not in order, okay? So yeah, we'll get there. We will get there. All right, so let's do some cleanup. So I'm getting ready to do some cleaning up, and as you can see, I had some shifting in my fabric, and it's okay. I'm gonna clean that up with my scissors, trim it off, because I can still see my seam allowance. As long as I don't cut my seam allowance, that's the most important. My seam, I'm sorry. As long as I don't cut my seam and I can still see my seam there, I am good, okay? And if you cut it off, go back and sew up that area, okay? It's okay. And so I have some more back here. You see that? I'm gonna just trim that up. Beautiful. And then I have this extra fabric that's hanging at the bottom. You really don't have to cut that off. As long as you got your seam there, it's okay. But I do want to trim off my corners, okay? And make sure you don't trim too far into it. But I just want to get rid of some of this bulk, okay? Some of this bulk that I have here. And I may see that, hey, I missed a part. And if you find that you missed a part, like I missed a part right here, because I may have been using the other side, it's okay. Come back and just sew across that, okay? Remember I said Tisha makes mistakes too? And see, you saw me break a needle, and look, I got a hole here. So I'm gonna just go back and sew this up, okay? I'm just gonna come back and sew this up. So if you find that on the other side you miss some areas or that denim, just go back and sew it up, okay? So I think I missed a part here, so I'm gonna sew that up. And I'm gonna check the other side, okay? I'm just gonna check the other side. And see, I still got that fabric hanging over here. It's okay. I just wanna trim my corners, okay? Trim those corners. And this is looking good. So it looked like I need to come back and fix this area. So I'm gonna turn this over and come back to the sewing machine and sew that up, okay? So let's go ahead. Now if you hit yours perfect, then you know what? We got some positionings opening. Come on over. I got a position for you. I'll meet you over at the sewing machine. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew up that hole that I missed right there. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my needle up first. And I'll come right back over that. Again, because it's in the corner, I'm gonna reinforce that. Beautiful. Oh, I'm coming back shortly. It's okay. I'm coming back. Yep, you good. I think I want to hit one more area. I think it was here. Yes. All right. So if you're waiting for the next step, that will be our belt. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull out those pieces. That will be our belt. I'm just hitting my other side because I was so close to it. I just want to come back and just sew it up, okay? Because once we flip this inside out, I won't have access to this again at all, okay? That looks amazing. All right. I'll meet you over at the cutting table. That looks good. All right. Everything looks good. I checked for everything. I trimmed my corners. I just don't want to miss anything at this point. So everything is looking good. Let's turn this inside out. All right, literally. So I'm going to take one end, open it up, and flip it over. Oops, I just lost my fabric, but I don't think it's going to matter. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Because at this point, we already have decided what's our wrong and what's our right fabric. I didn't turn that right. There we go. Completely inside out. There we go. All right. I'm turning that over. And remember, you got 6 layers of fabric here. It's 6 of them, okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you, team. Thank you, team. Thank you, team. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Now, in your toolkit, now you may receive something that look a little crazy. Remember this thing here? This is a loop turner. This is our style of a loop turner. And we can really use this in a few minutes because this is going to help us turn our belts over, okay? This is going to help us turn this over. So with your chopstick for now, keep your PVC pipe close because we're going to use we get ready to use this in about 15 minutes, okay? So let's go inside and let's massage the corners. Never jab at your fabric. If you jab at it, the fabric will give away and you'll end up with something like a rip, okay? Just a rip. All right, my time clock said I had 25 minutes. Wonderful, wonderful. So you all got a nice tutorial on how to change a needle, how to fix your holes. So we did pretty good. So that's pretty amazing, okay? All right, so I'm gonna turn my pocket, my apron in the right direction. Got my front pocket here, and I got my second pocket here, and I have my denim. This looks amazing, amazing. This is looking really good. All right, let's work on our belt, okay, because this is looking good. We no longer need this right now. So let's go ahead and set this aside and pull out our belt. Let's unpin our pieces. You should have 4 of these pieces. Remember, this is going to be really, really long belt, so you may not need all of this. You may end up cutting a lot of this off, okay? So I'm gonna set that aside. Now, again, for my beginners, don't fret trying to figure out what's the right side and the wrong side. Look at that. This is really hard to tell. Really hard to tell. But for my intermediates, they're pretty much a little more advanced and a little savvy about telling which side is which. Whatever you do, just put 2 right sides together, okay? So that's 2 pieces here. And remember, we cut 4 of them. So I'm only matching up the short end. You see that? Just 2 short ends. I'm gonna repeat that again. Here's my end here. I'm just gonna pick up 2 and pin them together. That's all I'm doing. Picking up 2 and pinning them together. We are going to sew across this short side, okay? The short side. That's 1. Putting a few pins in here. Beautiful. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this one, okay? It's the same thing. Now that I have done that, let's take this to the sewing machine. We have 2 separate pieces. Remember, we cut 4 in total. 2 layers. I'm gonna sew across this short side using a 1/2 inch. So this side here, and I'm gonna do the same thing here. Now, once we've done that, we're gonna join them together. So let's join these 2 together. So I'm gonna slide this on down. No, you know what, no, for my beginners, I think we should sew this first because they might get a little confused with the other side. So let's come back and let's just sew this up, okay? Yes, okay, so right there, I had a person say, can I change stitch this? You sure can. And if you do it, go ahead and make this one long strip. For my beginners, don't worry about that. I'm going to show you how to do that in steps, okay? But for some of us, we know how to do a change stitch where we connect all the pieces together and form one extremely long hot dog that's going to be 120 some inches. Yeah. It's going to be really long. But for right now, if you are a beginner, I only want you to separate these pieces in sets of 2s, keeping them together at the short side, pinning, and we're going to sew them. So meet me at the sewing machine. You're so welcome. I got my advanced people hanging out with me today. I love you guys, and thank you for hanging out and being patient with our beginners. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm ready to sew. I'm gonna just, again, using a 1/2 inch. And you really don't have to reinforce this. I don't think you need it at all. So that's 1, and I'm coming right behind that one and applying this next fabric. I'm not even taking this one off the machine. This is what we call chain stitching. And that's gonna pick up right behind it and keep it going. To my chain stitchers out there. All right, beautiful. All right, I'm gonna bring up the needle on that. So I'm gonna separate these 2 pieces. Now the trick is to not get these pieces twisted, okay? So I'm gonna take this over to the cutting board and we're gonna come back and connect these, okay? So let's go back to the cutting table. And I'm going to mark mine with a big, big, bright color so you can really see this. I'm hoping that it'll show up. Maybe this pink will show up. So if this is my seam right here, it's really bright. I'm hoping that it'll show up. This is not going to show up because it's going to get hidden in the inside, okay? And this is my wrong side as well because my seam is here. On the opposite side, I'm going to slide this down so that you can really see this. So I'm going to just squish this in together, making sure it's flat, okay? Because I want to make sure that when I connect this piece to this piece here, that the right sides are together and they are not twisted, okay? I don't want my seams to be twisted. That means I have to pull out my seam ripper. And remember, Tisha, try to prevent pulling out the seam ripper, okay? All right, so here's my other piece here, and I'm gonna put this right above it. And I'm just gonna squish this on down so that we know that both of these sides, as we're looking at them, these are the opposites. These are the wrong sides that we're looking at. So I need to take one and match it up to this set here. So remember, I want to connect these as one long strip. So again, I have both of my strips laid together. I can tell that this is the wrong side because I have my seam here. And all I did was squish it up together so that you can really see this in the camera. And all I do is want to really connect these two pieces, okay? So I'm gonna just turn this one like this. And I'm just gonna lift it up and just connect them. One to one. That's all I need. Don't worry about the other one. I just want to connect these at some point. This is one set here. Here's another set here, okay? Keeping that in the camera. I want to connect them at one end. That's all, just one. Not both of them, just one. Again, I'm matching up those short ends together, like so. And if this helps you, right side facing right side, it's okay. Match them up, and we're gonna sew right across that, okay? So let's take this over to the sewing machine and sew it up. All right, so now I'm at the sewing machine. And if you find that you needed to pin this, go ahead and do so. I find that I don't because it's such a small piece. It literally, when I'm sewing, it fits in the palm of my hand. So I'm pretty good. I can really see those raw edges hanging, okay? Beautiful. Again, I'm not reinforcing. I really don't think you need it. And as you can see, this is a really, really long belt. Okay, beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off to the sewing machine, and I'll meet you over at the cutting table. All right, so this is a good time to get get your iron ready because we need to do some pressing, okay? Some pressing. And so now you'll find that I have this really long, look how long that is. That's pretty long. Look at that. This is a lot of belt. You see that? That's a lot. That is a lot of belt. You may not need all of this, okay? But we're gonna go ahead and make it up because we all are different sizes, okay? All are different sizes. So let's fold this. Oh, can you see that again? Oh yeah, it's a really long, look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. That's a lot of straps there. You see that? That's a lot. Yeah. It's just one long strip.
Tisha, Brittany, and Adeline are actually wanted to see how you connect them again.
Oh, how I connect them again. Oh, you can literally lay this one by one, as you can see. So this is one piece here that I connected here. I'm gonna slide it on down. And all I did was add another piece here. You can see the seam. That's my second one. This is my third piece here. Keep sliding it on down. Here's another one. So it's all just become one big piece. One big piece. And I'm gonna slide that on down. Ta-da! One big piece. Now, let's learn how to fold this because we want to fold this hot dog style. And the reason why I'm coming to this seam right here is because I want to make sure that now that we see the seam, we know that this is the wrong side. I want to fold this hot dog style. I'm looking at that seam now. Find one of the seams, it doesn't matter which one. we want to make sure that the right side, this is my right side, is in the inside when I fold it. And the best way for a beginner to know where they're at is to look at the seam. So if you're looking at your seam, we want to make sure that that stays on the outside when we fold it. So again, I'm going to fold it. This is my right side. It's the inside. Fold it in half. The right side is in the inside. Okay? So since this is my seam right here, I'm going to put a pin in it. Now I have this long strip to pin, but guess what? I don't recommend pinning because we'll be here till tomorrow pinning, okay? You just want to get it going. So I'm still on that one strip here, that one piece here, and I'm just staggering between the both of them because this is where my seam is and this is where my corner is. I'm going to pin that corner, okay? And in between my seam and my corner, I'm going to place another pin there, just so that these raw edges stay even, okay? Now I'm going to do this for each section. So I just did it for one section here, starting on one end. And I'm going to come on down. So again, I pinned that corner, pinned the center, and I pinned that seam. I'm going to continue working from right to left, whatever's comfortable for you, making sure that I'm folding this in half, hot dog style, making sure I'm matching up the raw edges and pinning, okay, and pinning. Again, I just came across my seam here. This is my second seam. I want to make sure they're matching, making sure that the right side's in the inside and those seams are matching. So I'm going to put a pin there. And keep on sliding. So that was my second strip there. Again, right side to right side, the center, and pin. And I'm coming across my second seam. I'm sorry, my third seam. Hi, Cecily. And I'm coming to that last one. This is my last end. You see that? Again, I want to pin that center and that corner, okay? Beautiful. Now that you know that you have 3 seams there, ha-ha, okay? So let's count those seams. 1, 2, and my last one is 3, okay? Now, the reason why I had you to I pointed out your seams is because that third seam, that center seam, this is your center that we're going to line up to our apron. Because we're getting ready to sew up the straps, and we don't want to sew up too much because we need to leave an opening for the body of the apron. So this is my center seam. So you should be able to find one seam on your right and one seam on your left, okay? Again, that third seam, the center seam is the one I want you to focus on, okay? So I'm going to flip that going this way. Again, my center seam is right in here. Maybe I should highlight it in this bright yellow. Yes, you can really see that, okay? I'm going to bring back over my apron. And to easily find the center of your apron, it's just folded in half. But I think you can see it because my fold in the crease in my fold on my denim is still right here. But for the sake of everyone else, especially for my beginners, how do you find the center? Just fold it in half, evenly, put a nice crease in there. Carrie talked about this. This is what we call finger pressing, you know, getting that nice crease in there. So that, and if you find that you need to put a pin in it and you really can't see it, put a pin in it. It's okay. Bam, that's my center. You see that? That is my center. Beautiful. We are going to actually match up center of the belt to the center of the apron. You see that? When we go to sew up our belt, we need to know where to stop at. I need to stop here on this side, and I need to stop here on this side, because again, we want to leave this part open so that we can put the body of the apron in. So I recommend putting 2 pins along the sides right here at the end, okay? So this is my belt, and this is the opposite side. This is where the raw edges are at, okay? So I'm gonna put a pin here, put double pins, because that's gonna tell me, Tisha, stop. We need to stop here. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side. Again, I matched up the center seam of the belt to the center of the apron with pins, and you can really see that in that bright pink. And I want to leave an opening in the body, okay? And so I stopped about 1 inch away from my apron, which is right here, and I put double pins in it, matching up the raw edges. I want to do the same thing for the other side, as you can see here. Again, 1 inch, and I'll put a double pin in that as well. Beautiful. I have a question.
Tisha, there's conversation in the chat about pressing and ironing the seams open. Any recommendations?
No, this is an apron. No, you're working too hard. No, all I did was just laid it out. It's okay. Woosa. When it's time to press, once we finish it, then I want you to press it, okay? But for right now, you don't need that, okay? So let's take the belt over to the sewing machine and sew. So you are literally going to start right there where that double pins are. Sew all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, till you get to the end, and you're going to close up that end, okay? Once you do one side, guess what you're going to do? I'm going to bring it back to the center. You're going to do the same thing for the other side. So here's my other side here. You're going to start sewing from here, all the way down, all the way down, till you get to the end and sew across, okay? All right, so meet me over at the sewing machine and let's press. I'm sorry, let's sew, let's sew, let's sew. All right, so here I'm at my sewing machine, and I'm starting at my double pins. Look at that. I'm starting literally at those double pins because I don't want to sew past that point, okay? This part is the center. This part I'm going down the end of the belt, okay? So I'm going to start here. I'm going to take out my pins, and I'm going to go ahead and start sewing, okay? All the way down. Now make sure you are sewing to your pins and not over your pins. And I just took my machine from a putt-putt to a Ferrari. Oh my God. All right, I just realized I was sewing on the other side. Okay, I'm gonna backtrack myself. Here we go. I don't want to close up my center. Oh no, I was doing okay. Okay. I saw my center seam and I was like, I got worried. Okay, let me come back to where I was. I think this was other marks that I did earlier today. Okay. Sorry about that. Man, I like this machine. Oh my God, whoever wins that, brother, you got stitch control on here. You can take that bad baby from, literally from a, you can do slow stitching. Look at this. This is all the way. Look how slow that is. I'm getting ready to take that up to a Ferrari. I like that. All right, so I'm coming to that small end at the end of the tail, of the tie, of the belt, and I'm gonna come right across it. Beautiful. Now I've done one side, guess what? We're gonna do the same thing for the other side. So let me find my center again and find my double pins. Oh, I just found it. Okay, here we are. Here's my double pins. Bring my needle up and let's go ahead and start there. Don't forget, remove your pins. And I'm just sewing up that last end. That's all I'm working on, just sewing up that last end. And I'm at the bottom. And I'm just going to lift that up and come across that bottom and sew that up as well. Beautiful. Bring up my needle, take that off, and I'll meet you over at the cutting table. Yes. Maybe I should stay here.
Once you get there, can you demonstrate the pinning of the belt again? There's some questions about where the pins are and how that step happens.
Sure. And so I'm going to set that aside. And so all we have here, oh, we have 4 minutes. Okay, but we have more time. Okay then. Okay, wonderful. So we're scheduled for 4 more minutes and everything, but we still have more time, okay? So let me find the center for you. Let me find the center. The center. Ah. I used that same crayon on all my seams, so now I've lost my center seam. Okay, there it is. I see it. Marking again, I don't think it's going to help me, but I'm going to still do this anyway. So here's that center seam, okay? You should have 3 of them, okay? That center seam. Now, I have another one here, down here. That's to my right. And then I have another one on the left side. That's to my left. I just wanted to make sure. Right, left. I want the one that's in the center, which is right here, okay? The one that's in the center, okay? So when you match these up together, they were open, okay? They were like this. What we did was we made sure that the right side was in the inside when we pinned the center seam, okay? And when you pinned all your other seams, make sure you're looking at the seams. We're working on the wrong side. So the most important thing is make sure the seams match up. If your seams match up, everything else is going to line up no matter what, because here's my other seam to the left. They're going to match up no matter what, okay? And if I keep going further down, that's the end of my belt, okay? Now, once we pinned it, we sewed it, okay? We sewed it. Remember, we put those double pins and we measured out our apron. So this is my center. Here's my center of my apron, okay? And what I did was along the raw edges, I'm gonna flip this over. Along the raw edges, I came out about 1 inch. And I wanna stop there. And I put double pins on both sides. Put a double pin on this side and a double pin here, because the apron needs to fit in the mouth of this belt, okay? I think I answered your question. All right, with that being said, and we only have a few more minutes, I want to be able to show you how to use your loop turner, okay? So I'm on full view, and I want to keep this angle so that you can see both angles here. Remember, you have this opening here. I'm going to place my apron to the side. And so what I want to do is, it doesn't matter if it's the left or the right side. I want to slide the big piece in. Oh no, what happened? Oh, it just left me out. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure what the audio should be. Okay, so tech is working on that now, but I think you can see me, but you can't hear me. Okay, here we are. Wonderful. All right. And so can we go back to the cutting angle as well? Can they see me in the cutting angle? Yes, you can. Okay, I can't see you, but I'm trusting the system. So I'm sliding the PVC pipe down the tubing of the belt, okay? So it's going down in the tubing of the belt, okay? Just one end. So I'm gonna push that all the way down. Now you can't see it, but you can feel it. You see that? You can feel it. It's going all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Now I'm gonna turn this because it's easier for me to work forward, working away from me this way, okay? I'm going to take the chopstick, because I can feel the PVC pipe right down here, okay? And I'm going to force the fabric gently. Remember, we don't want to jab at the fabric. If we do, we'll poke holes in it. So I want to gently push the fabric through the PVC pipe opening. And you'll feel it starting to move. And what I'm doing is just pushing the chopstick all the way through the PVC pipe. Now, I'm going to continue to slide the fabric over the PVC pipe. Although the chopstick is in there, I'm going to continue to slide the fabric over the PVC pipe. You see that? And I'm just feeding it through. Now, I'm holding the fabric with my right hand. I'm right-handed. So I'm using my left hand to pull the PVC pipe over, the fabric right over it, so that when I get to the other side of the opening, guess what's waiting for me? Oh, the chopstick with the fabric. Look at there. I'm going to hold this now. I'm going to switch gears because remember, I'm right-handed. I'm going to hold this with my left hand, all of that fabric there. I'm going to take my right hand, pull out the chopstick with the fabric right through the PVC pipe, and I'm just going to keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling and keep pulling before what? Ta-da! It's on the right side. Look at that. All right, we get to do this again. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull the PVC pipe right off of this. Now my chopstick is still in there. So while your chopstick is still at the bottom of that corner, go ahead and massage those corners. Yes, look at that. Beautiful. We're not gonna jab, we're going to massage the corners. So if you missed that beautiful magic, where's that my sprinkling sound? Ta-da, magic sound effect. All right, so I'm gonna push my chopstick back to the opening because it's still in there. And we're gonna do this again, okay, because we got two sides. So again, right there at the opening, here's my opening, there's that center bright yellow. I'm going to push my PVC pipe down that opening and just push it on through. You can't see it at this point, but you can feel it. And just push it all the way down to the bottom. Just keep going and keep going and keep going till you reach the end. Remember, I told you it was a lot of belt. And keep going until you reach the end. Beautiful. Again, we're going to take that chopstick. I'm going to turn it this way because it's easier for me to move forward, okay? And I'm going to place the fabric, using a chopstick to push the fabric inside the PVC pipe opening, okay? And I'm going to gently just start it, get it going, gently, just a little at a time, and you'll feel it moving through, okay? And once you get that chopstick all the way through, because it's right at the butt of the PVC pipe and the chopstick, now I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to hold it with my right hand and just feed that fabric right over the PVC pipe. If you notice, it's gathering in the palm of my hand. And just keep going. And just keep feeding the caterpillar. Keep feeding, keep feeding. Before you know it, you'll find that you're at the opening. And look what's waiting for you, your fabric and your chopstick. So I'm going to switch hands again because I'm right-handed. I'm going to switch this to my left hand and pull out the chopstick with the fabric with my right hand. Gently pull. Gently pull. There we go. Ta-da! PVC pipe, pull it out. Make sure your chopstick is still in there. And ta-da, your chopstick is still in there. Massage those corners. Beautiful. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove the chopstick. Now my intermediates, you already know where I'm getting ready to go. You probably already know that. So this is a good time, if you need to, is go ahead and press. And I know we're pressed for time, so how are we doing? Okay, they said go ahead and finish it up. So in the magic world of TV, we're gonna act like I've pressed this. And so I'm going to take that opening, okay, because we're right now on the right side. So I'm going to lay this flat. Lay this flat completely. And I'm going to open this up, okay? I'm going to place the right side of my apron to the right side of my belt, matching at the center seam. So here's my center seam here. Here's my center seam here. I'm going to take that raw edge and match up right side to right side. So this is the right side of my belt now. Right side to right, just like that. Pin the center and pin the entire raw edge from left to right. So let's pin away, pin away, pin away. Now that I have pinned my right, I'm going to go ahead and pin my left. And we are going to go ahead and sew this. Oh, our apron is almost finished. So how are we doing out there? All right, so let's go ahead to the sewing machine and sew this up. Again, 1/2 inch seam allowance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm literally starting right there where the denim is. And so you got a little bit of an inch to work with, so to push that belt out of the way. And so I'm gonna go ahead and start sewing this down, okay? Uh-oh, I think I got some threads here that are catching me. There we go. I'll reposition that. There we go. Now I feel comfortable. All right, needle down, foot down, we are ready. 1/2 inch all the way across. We are attaching the belt to the apron at this point. So I'm at that center seam there. Beautiful. And I'm coming across that other end. And I'm coming back to the other side of that denim. And I'm just reinforcing those ends there again. All right, so let's go ahead and pull this up. And let's meet at the cutting table. Because this, literally the last step is top stitching and sewing the back on. Attaching the back on, okay? And so literally, I am literally just right here and just finger press it, okay? And so I want to take a 1/2 inch from the other side because I want to turn in that raw edge. You see that? Just turn in that raw edge and place it right there at that seam because you can see that seam on when you attach it to the other side. So again, I'm just taking the other side and encasing it in. I'm encasing and closing in the raw edge, okay? That's all I'm doing. So if you feel like you need to put a few pins in it, go ahead and do so. And all I'm doing is just pinning right over that seam, right over that same seam, okay? And all you're doing, this is just closing it up. Honestly, just closing it up. Now when you sew this, because this is your last stitch, I do want you to reinforce it, okay? Reinforce it. Now for the sake of time, oh, okay, they're saying, no, go ahead and sew it, Tisha. Okay, so I'm gonna go take it to the sewing machine. All right, so I'll meet you at the sewing machine, okay? All right, beautiful. So we are here. And I'm going to go ahead and remove that pin. Now remember, our opening extended about 1 inch. So I'm gonna back it up about 1 inch. And I'm really gonna keep it on that edge, okay, as much as possible. And so I'm just gonna encase that in. And now I'm just gonna go completely across here, all the way across. And you can see my machine did a little hiccup because it's picking up all those layers of that fabric. And I'm just going to cross it, okay? I'm just tucking that in. Keeping those raw edges to the inside. Keeping the raw edges to the inside. I'm coming across that second pin. And here we go. And before you know it, you're off to the other side as well. All right, are we ready for show and tell? Are we ready for show and tell? And again, I'm just reinforcing that in, bringing my needle up. I will meet you over at the cutting table wearing my apron, okay? All right, let's take it over here. Look at there. Oh my God, I don't have my other angle, I'm sorry. Here we go. Here we go, here is our apron. Look at that, it is beautiful. Look at that, that is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Yes, we did it, we did it. So another thing I want to talk about, and this is optional to you because you have really nice, wide, big pockets here. It's really up to you if you want to take it to the next level. Remember I talking about that creativity, making it your own? You can literally divide up these pockets to whatever dimensions you want. You can split it in halves. You can split them in quarters. I want you to make it your own. Let me see your pics, okay? You all did an amazing job with all of this belt. I know it will fit anyone, okay? It will fit anyone. So thank you guys for hanging in there. I do apologize for keeping you too late. We are gonna move on to our next project. They're all waiting for us for the Tiana top. And I'm gonna hand it over to my partner, Cecily.